The WuXing theory and corresponding aspects have been long rooted in Chinese culture and history for thousands of years. Prior to the scientific research in the basic medicine and technical innovations in the clinical medicine in the 19th century Western culture. Despite of evolving alongside the infectious diseases in the medicine, traditional Chinese medicine principles, and specifically the WuXing principles, had little changed. After studying basic anatomy and TCM, with careful comparing and connecting, the owner and founder of Just Yin Tea House, Chen, a lifelong tea lover who's passionate about tea and tea culture, and a well-trained supply chain professional who is always systems-driven, analytical, and adept at interpreting data and building efficiencies, ventured into the territory of combining the history and current and connecting the Eastern philosophy and the Western physiology. With critical thinking skills, Chen revamped the traditional WuXing corresponding aspects regarding human organ systems and phases of development, giving the WuXing theory an updated interpretation and a holistic view. She presents the GIT corresponding aspects of WuXing theory as follows. In contrast to traditional theory, first, Chen reassociated WuXing theory not with organs but with organ systems, and each organ system is different from traditional theory. And second, changed the sense organs by removing mouth, since mouth itself is not a sensing organ, and replaced mouth with hands, one of the essential sensing organs. And third, change the phases of development as water, birth, wood, growth, metal, confined, fire, transformation, and earth, return. In Chinese, 生命始于水，长于木，困于金，终于火，归于土。By applying the WuXing principle, human nature harmony concept, and the balance doctrine, Chen is confident that renovated corresponding is more concise and comprehensive. The relevancy and properties are substantiated by both Eastern philosophy and Western physiology systems, thus giving TCM practitioners a comprehensive reference to effectively diagnose symptoms and identify root causes, therefore improve the efficacy of TCM methods and treatments. In TCM, each of the WuXing symbol was associated with two organs, which were paired by yin and yang differentiation. Failed to trace the origin or find the logic, Chen could only apply system analysis knowledge and skills to rearrange and reassociate the WuXing principle with human body systems, taking it as a whole instead of individual organs, since human body is an intricately connected, sophisticated system. Every organ and supporting organs or tissues are all important to the normal function of the body system. With respect to the human nature harmony doctrine, 天人合一, we treat human body system as a reflection of the environment that we lived in and the relationships and interactions amid each xing, thus reassociate each organ system with more appropriately corresponding xing. Same as Earth is the foundation to everything. The skeletal and the muscular systems are the structure of our human body. Both combine to provide the ground of life, therefore is represented by Earth. Furthermore, in terms of mobility, the skeletal and the muscular systems are the most stable systems amongst all the body systems. The vital signs, body temperature, pulse rate, respiration rate, and blood pressure are maintained by two core systems, circulatory system and the respiratory system. These two systems are not only the critical elements of life, but also marks life or death. As I mentioned a couple of times before, the single indicator of life is mobility, both in macro and macro definition. Here I'm not using it as location change, but the mobility of our own biological system. The flowing of blood and the circulation of oxygen that provides nutrients and energy to every cell. The importance of these two systems is equivalent to water to life. Hence, it is represented by water. Other than the above mentioned, the main elements of blood and the lungs are also watery, and the blood itself, over 90% of blood plasma is water, with less than 10% consists of dissolved substances, mostly protein. Additionally, water also takes a large percentage in the main organs of both systems, 73% and 83% respectively. In terms of mobility, these two systems are the most vivacious, moving continuously within the individual system and interacting with the environment. Thus, it is more reasonable to associate these two systems to water than it was associated with metal in traditional Chinese medicine theory. Water is important to life. However, water itself isn't sufficient enough to supply or sustain the whole body system. We need nutrients to sustain and function, and the digestive and excretory system provides nutrients and energy from outside resources, and empty the wasteful and poisonous material to the environment to be biodegraded and reused, hence complete the material exchange and transformation, participating in the ecosystems. With respect to function, these are similar to woods and plants, which are the very basic components in food chain, the chain of life, in a broader perspective. With these properties, these two systems are symbolized by wood. Where our body interacts with the environment is the integumentary system and the lymphatic system. They provide a shield to our individual biological system, and we know the shield was originally made from metal in ancient times. Arguably, metal is the most common and strongest material to make shields. Nevertheless, these two systems should be represented by metal instead of corresponding to lungs and colon in TCM. In terms of mobility, these two systems are responsive to triggers, stimulants, and/or pathogens. The above-mentioned systems are functioning organ systems of our human body. How such a complex and sophisticated system functions orderly and effectively relies on the communication or signaling system, the nervous system, and the endocrine system. These two crucial systems had no presence in TCM, or were vaguely generalized as qi, a crucial element in TCM that was heightened as a vital force of life, but can be observed, tested, replicated, or verified through modern medical methods, on top of lack of physical properties. TCM associated heart to fire, in which there was no logic can be established. Fire is neither a material nor an element. It is a chemical reaction that requires three critical factors: oxygen, heat, and fuel, the fire triangle. Fire was not only used to cook food, but also the signaling system to transmit important yet urgent messages in ancient times. Some may argue it was smoke, but literally there's smoke, there's fire. These two are inseparable. Without much thinking, we can naturally relate the nervous and endocrine systems with fire, through which to gather and process information and transmit signals to coordinate and regulate the functionality of all systems. A real-life scenario can be furthermore evidential. TCM frequently uses a term, 头痛上火, headache. It wasn't due to the heart problem, but the nervous system. My guessing is that there was too much information to process, or too much energy accumulation that the nervous system needs a dump. Therefore, the symptom of 头痛上火 indicates the nervous system is out of balance, and the head is the headquarters of the nervous system. The reproductive system is the extended function system of our social purposes and responsibilities. It is not considered as vital, which means a person can live without, such as an eunuch. But it does regulate and direct all other functioning systems, and it is one of the most important determining factors to all the pillars of a balanced life, which we will discuss in other articles. Human sensing systems and organs will be discussed in other articles. Simply put, we removed a mouth and replaced with hands, since the 5 senses correlate to 5 individual sensing organs, while mouth is not a sensing organ. As to the phases of development, we take the cycle of life as an example. Life begins with the embryo in amniotic fluid within the amniotic sac. Thus, birth corresponds to water, fed on plants to grow, confined in metal, stand for wealth, transformed through fire, and returned to earth, hence completes the cycle of life. And this chain of development is the perfect interpretation of human nature syncretization, 天人合一, one of the fundamental Eastern philosophies. According to an estimate, more than 1/3 of American patients use complementary and alternative medicine, and traditional Chinese medicine derived from thousands of years of observations and practices undoubtedly provides an effective yet economic alternative to burdensome, expensive medical procedures and treatments. We believe TCM principles and methods are very valuable in improving overall health and disease preventions. We believe our studies and modified principles infuse new blood to the 1,000-year-old theory, help medical professionals to improve the accuracy of diagnosis and effectiveness of treatments, eventually benefit the general public.